Hello Stampers! Thanks for joining me today. This is Michelle Zindorf. I'm so glad you came to my channel. Today I'm using the More Than Autumn stamp set. Here's the stamp set. Very cute. So many cute little items that you can use to make different little scenes. And then also using the More Than Autumn dies that are coordinating, of course. Lots of dies in this. So there you have that. So pick the two up together. And we're going to get going today on our project. I'm just looking so forward to fall. It's just been so hot all spring and summer here in Ohio that I'm ready for some cool weather. And of course some pumpkin spice. It's something like one of my favorite things. So we're going to get going here, and this says nothing better than pumpkin spice, and inside it says except maybe you. So this would be a cute birthday card. You could just put happy birthday after it, or thank you, or whatever. It's an all-around card here. So we're going to get going, and the first thing I did was die cut my little sentiment pieces. So I die cut the pumpkin and spice using the More Than Autumn dies. And I cut them out of pumpkin pie using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm just going to set those aside until we're ready to use them. And then I just want to do my drink first here, my pumpkin latte that I've got going on. I'm just going to bring in some Memento Tuxedo Black. And all of the stamps that I'm using are coming out of the More Than Autumn stamp set. And I'm going to start with the cup and some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. We'll just give them a little stamp here. There's my cup. Let's put the cream on next. The best part, the whipped cream. And I'm just going to stamp that on top there. There's the whipped cream. This goes together so quickly, it's crazy. So then we have our little straw. And I'm just going to add that here at the side. There's our little straw. Oh, I must have bent mine somehow when I stamped it. That's unusual. See how straight this one is? Somehow I curved it. Must have been the way I pressed it. Oh, and I have one more thing I have to stamp. My little pumpkin. I wanted a pumpkin on the label for the cup. And again, this comes out of that same stamp set. It's my little pumpkin. Then we're going to color this. So I'm going to start by coloring the cup. And I'm going to start with dark pumpkin pie. And this part above the label portion. And then the bottom of the cup here. So that is that. And that was the dark pumpkin pie Stampin' Blend marker. And I'm going to use the light Cajun Craze as a shadow for this. So I'm just going to start out with the right at the top of the cup there where the little lip is for the cup. I'm going to come down on the sides just a bit. And that just gives you the roundness of your cup, that it's not just flat. And I'm going to add just a tiny bit here at the top of the label. I'm going to put some at the bottom of the label here, like a little shadow for that label. Like it's sitting on top, so it's casting a shadow on the cup. Little down the sides. Then at the bottom. I'm leaving that inside area nice and light. And you can go back over this again if you don't feel like it's dark enough. Sometimes I like to hit certain areas to get it darker, like where I really want it to show that it's shadowing. Again, that was the dark Cajun Craze. Okay, and let's see, let's bring our pumpkin pie back in, this dark pumpkin pie, and color in the pumpkin itself. Cute little pumpkin. All right, there's that. Now I'm going to color the label. I'm going to start with light old olive here. And we'll just color in this label. Just around that pumpkin. So that was the light old olive. And we have some dark old olive here to create a shadow a bit. And just come in here at the sides. There we go. And see how that's really contrasty there? I'm going to lighten that by going over it again with the light old olive. Just at the edges of that dark old olive there. And that really makes it blend together a bit. Okay, so we have that done. I'm going to use that dark pumpkin pie again, and I'm going to do my straw. This is the little stripes on my straw here. Those two little places. And then I wanted just a bit of a shadow in here in my cream. So I have the ivory Stampin' Blend marker. And I'm going next to these dark lines here in the cream. And that gives it a little contrast, so it looks like it's multi-leveled instead of flat. It just gives you some depth. And I think that's cute. I didn't want to use like gray, but this ivory works out perfectly. It works perfect with that pumpkin pie color. So you can either die cut these out with your die cuts. If you're going to die cut them out, I would stamp them separately and then die cut them out using the dies. I'm just going to cut this out real quick. It's fairly simple to cut out, so I'm just going to do it all in one big thing. Now, if I was doing a bunch of these, I'd probably use the dies for sure. But I'm just doing this one card for you all. And I'm trying to cut just a hair off of the black line when I cut. That way it's still outlined a bit with that black line. That's just how I like to cut. There we go. And I cut excess off as I go. It's funny I got that straw to curve. You know, it's just meant to be, I guess. So, here we go. And then cut along the bottom here. And voila, we got our cup. And I'm just going to set that aside for a moment, and we're going to do our background. So, all the sizes for the panels and such are down below this video, and you can see them under the description. You may have to click more to see them, and all the links to all the products that I'm using today are there also. And now those links will take you directly to my online store where you can shop with me 24/7. But we have a basic white panel here. It's 3 inches by 4 1/4. And I'm going to take a Post-it note. Oh, I'm going to take some Balmy Blue ink here and a blending brush, and I'm just going to go back and forth on this panel here and add a little bit of this Balmy Blue to our background. I probably need to ink my pad again, I'm thinking. There we go. Got Balmy Blue all over our basic white panel. Next, I'm going to take a Post-it note here, and I'm going to just line it up with the side and the top of my panel here. There we go. And then I'm going to put some blueberry bushel ink at the bottom of our panel. I've got another blending brush. So, and I'm doing this light on here. I don't want it real dark yet because I'm going to put some shadows in here. But first, I'm going to stamp some hearts all over. This is going to be like our table that has a tablecloth on it. So I wanted a little print, and it had this little cute little heart in the stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp it all over this paper. And I want to get the edges, and I want to turn this heart different directions so it just looks like a random print. Okay, let's put some of the bottom here at the sides. There we go. Got our little random hearts on our paper. I'm going to put one more here, I think. Upside down heart. Oh, I messed that one up. Let's see if we can do it again. There we go. And then I'm going to take this blueberry bushel ink. I'm going to turn this upside down so our table is at the top. And I'm going to put a dark edge just by going back and forth here with the tip of my brush right at the Post-it note edge to darken that top of the table. Okay, so we got that on there. And then I'm going to put a little shadow down here, and I'm going to put it like right over here. So there's a little spot for a shadow. All right. So I got a little messy there, but we're just going to ignore that. Like I never sweat the small stuff. Okay, we're going to go back to our Balmy Blue here. And I'm going to try to get real dark here at this Post-it note. I mean, at this edge. That's going to be our wall. So I'm adding some color here at the bottom of our wall. There we go. So that is our background. So that went out pretty good. All right, moving right along. So I'm going to put my ink up. Now I'm ready to do some stamping here. I'm going to move this down because I want to stamp here at the top of this panel. And I'm stamping Nothing's Better Than. So let me grab that stamp. Make sure I have it going the right direction. Nothing worse than stamping it upside down. I'm going to try this just to make sure it's stamping well. Okay. There's my sentiment at the top. I want to figure out where I want my other items. So I have my drink cup here, and I want to make sure that I have it down in my shadow some. I have my pumpkin word that I'm going to put up here. And then I want to make sure I have enough room for my spice word to be here at the side. So I'm going to move my cup over just a bit. And I think that looks good. So we're going to start gluing these on. So I'm going to put the wording in first, and then I'll move my cup to where I want it. I'm just using multi-purpose glue here. And I'm going to just put just a little bit on here. So I put a little dot and then I kind of rub it around. so I don't have a bunch of gushy glue coming out when I put my wording on. I try to get just a bit on each letter, just so it holds it down. So there's pumpkin. Okay, and then I need to put spice on. Such an adorable little card. I wish there was something out there that you could die cut any word that you wanted to. There's in some fancy machine. Some little machine, some little handheld something or another that you just select the letters you want in what order and could just like crank them out. That would be nice. There's $1 million idea for somebody. Okay, I'm going to put my little cup on here. And I really don't mind if it touches the word pumpkin up there. That just makes it look a little more 3D. So there is our main panel. Super cute, comes together really fast. And I love these two colors together, this pumpkin pie and the blueberry bliss. So pretty together. All right, we need to stamp the inside panel for our card. This is pumpkin pie, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo Black again. And the inside is going to say, except maybe you. And we're going to stamp it right up here. I like to do my stamping before I stick it inside my card. That way, if I mess it up, I have another go at it. All right, that's all of our stamping for this card. And I'm going to bring in my main panel here. This is my main card base. It's Blueberry Bliss. And it is 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded in half to create my quarter card. Just going to add my pumpkin pie panel inside. This really pops. Let's add a little love in there. Here we go. Just center it up there. All right. Now for the front, I have this strip of Balmy Blue, and it's 1 inch by 5.5. And I'm just going to stick it on the front of my card here. And I just want to make, when I stick it on, I just want to make sure that this bottom right corner is off of the cardstock and that top left side one is off. That way it reaches all the way across. And add some glue there. There we go. Okay, so I have that, and it's off the cardstock here and off the cardstock there. That way I know when I turn it over, I can just trim this off, flush with my card. So there's one piece. And I turn it around here. I like to look from behind. There we go. There's the next piece. That's the easy way to get that nice shape there. Okay. Then I'm going to add a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock. And I'm going to center it here. I'm going to center it between the top, the bottom, and the right side. Let's see, that looks pretty good. All right, and then we just need to put our main panel on here, and I'm gluing it on too. You can pop it up if you'd like to, but I'm just going to put it right on. And I'm centering this up with the top of this, and the top, the right, and the bottom of this Cajun Craze panel. And then making sure that it is straight. I think that looks pretty good. So looky there. There is our card. Took us no time to make. We're all ready for fall. So nothing's better than pumpkin spice, except maybe you are. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a try. Take care. Toodles!